Hi, thanks for checking out today's video. I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, Hearth and Apron. Now, if you're into domestic motivation, you have come to the right place because my channel is all about homemaking, whether it is cooking, cleaning, decluttering and organizing, planning and prep for adventures or fun ideas, including movie nights, which is going to be one we're talking about this evening. I also love to just do decor and seasonal fun as well as holiday activities, decor, everything. I just really enjoy it, and I absolutely love to have this opportunity to share all of this with you guys here on YouTube. So I am so very grateful for all of you that stick around and my little YouTube community that we have kind of grown and cultivated here. Now, if you are not part of this little family yet, I really hope that you will go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below because I have so much fun and joy to share with you. Now, as I said earlier, tonight is a movie night special, and I just love these because it really gives me the opportunity to just be creative and out of the box, and that is just something that makes my whole personality thrive. So this is going to be a jungle themed movie night, and we are watching two different movies. We are going to be watching the animated Disney classic, The Jungle Book, which I am sure so many of you have seen before. It is something that I absolutely treasure. It brings all the nostalgic feels for me. I love every part of it. I don't know. And whether or not it's the birds asking what he wants to do, or Bagheera or Baloo, or I just love it all. So I loved the animals as a kid. It was something that I really identified with. Bagheera is definitely my favorite character. Let me know what you guys think and who your favorite character on The Jungle Book is down below. Now, we kind of watched this one earlier because it takes me forever to make my little themed movie meals because I don't proper plan, as well as all of these amazing other women, and so I'm often cooking as we are watching the movie. But it's still wonderful because it brings the whole family together, and we all really enjoy these movie nights. Now, in addition to watching The Jungle Book, we also watched the new Disney movie, The Jungle Cruise. It was wonderful. I absolutely loved this twist on kind of a classic story, but they really kind of made it their own. And it starts out with Emily Blunt as this awesome little adventure person, trying to get her goal and her dream out into the world. And so she goes on her quest and hires Dwayne Johnson to help be her guide. And there's a part, if you guys have been to Disneyland, the first part where you see Dwayne Johnson's character, he is the skipper on the Jungle Cruise, and it's perfect. I love the punny jokes, everything. It's fantastic. This is definitely a movie that you are going to love and you do not want to miss out on. Now, I do believe it comes available just in general on Disney Plus in November, but we went ahead and paid for premiere access to watch this because I just knew that it was going to be something that we really enjoyed. My daughter's favorite ride at Disneyland when we were little, or when she was little, was the Jungle Cruise. She just talked about it constantly. I think one time when we went to Disneyland, we went on the Jungle Cruise 8 times. So that gives you an idea how much it was enjoyed. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking here because I have some great recipes to share with you. We are going to be starting out with our entrees, where I'm gonna show you how I make these little guacamole bowls out of the shells that look like caimans with blue chips to be like a river around it. I actually also make a Cayman Calzone for our main entree. I don't know why they're both caimans, guys. I just was feeling it in the moment, I guess. I don't know, it's what inspired me. So, in addition to that, I have a river float that is absolutely scrumptious, as well as we're gonna make an Anaconda Cake and these little banana monkey bites. So, make sure and stay tuned. Don't forget to say hi down below. Let's get started.
So we are starting out with the Cayman guacamole and Blue River chips. And I wanted to take a second to quickly show you this little trick I learned last year, where you just lightly press the back of the avocado and it just makes the inside seed just pop right out. I can't tell you how many years of struggle that was unnecessary for me. So I'm just gonna scoop out all of the avocado from these and set the shells aside because we will be using them in just a minute. If you have a favorite way to make guacamole, follow your heart and do that right now. If you do not know how to make guacamole, this is just a super simple way. There are so many methods. I am just adding a little bit of my favorite salsa, as well as a dash of cumin, a little bit of lemon juice. You're gonna see we used a little bit too much, as well as just a dash of chili pepper if you like it a little bit spicier. And once that's all mixed together, I am just gonna go ahead and put this back into those avocado shells that we cleaned out earlier, and then it is time to make these into these little cute caimans. So I found this idea on Pinterest. I saw it in pictures and just kind of followed how I felt it should be done. But I am so impressed by how cute it is, and even more importantly, how absolutely simple. We're just gonna cut off some cucumber slices for these eyes, as well as put in some little olives to kind of give the pupils, and then cut up these carrot chips to make the teeth, put them on my tray, and surround them with blue chips for the Blue River water. And we have our appetizer for tonight's movie night, my little Cayman guacamole and Blue River chips. Let me know what you guys think of these down below. This is without a doubt my favorite thing that we made.
Said I was a piece of art. You decided to paint my heart, but you colored it gray, then you put it in a frame, hung it beside other house gray as mine.
Keeping with that alligator energy, now it is time to make our Cayman calzones, and we can't do that without first making some pizza crust, and we're going to make the one that we have made multiple times on here from sallysbakingaddiction.com. Now, we start off by whisking our yeast, water, and sugar in my mixer, and we're gonna let that sit for 5 minutes. Now, after that, we typically add olive oil, but I didn't have any, so I substituted with butter this time. But in addition to that, we will be using salt and flour and Italian seasoning, and we will beat that on low in the mixer for 6 minutes. You'll notice that it is done when you poke it and it slightly bounces back. So once you get there, you wanna grease your bowl and let it sit for 60 to 90 minutes or until it has doubled in size. And then after that, it's time to start rolling it out and to make the shape to make this alligator fun.
You did that by sweet talking. You got inside my mind. Now I'm wide awake at night. Put me.
So once our dough is done, we're gonna put it on either a piece of parchment paper or I don't even know what this thing is called. It's like a silicone baking mat thing, and we are going to work out the dough really well and try to get it into the biggest rectangle that you can. Now, I will have some notes on this later that I'm going to talk to you about, but try to get it as thin as you can, and we're going to try and get a rectangular space, and then I'm going to cut some 1-inch slits at an angle you're going to see. Now, I got this idea from seeing how people had made crocodile bread on Pinterest, and then I was like, hey, what if I stuffed it? And that is how the Cayman Calzone was born.
Oh, I should've known. Should've let you go. Oh, I should've known. Should've let you go. Oh, I should've known. Should've let you go. But I wanted to fall in love so bad. Like in the movies or the dreams. You're like in the movies or the dreams.
So about this time, I realized that I had completely failed and forgotten to get marinara sauce or any kind of pasta sauce from the store. So I decided to make a butter sauce on the side to use in its stead. It did taste really good, but I still recommend you guys getting that marinara sauce because it just helps to make that calzone as to how we think of them. So I went ahead and used butter, shallots, garlic, some herbs from my yard, as well as Parmesan cheese to make this little mix. Okay, so now I'm just gonna layer in the ingredients. Obviously, you would start with your sauce. I started with my weird butter mixture instead, and then you put in your cheese and your other toppings, and then you're going to go ahead and fold in these little like 1-inch strips to kind of make it look like a braid on the top. After that, it was kind of all touch and go, and I basically just kind of cut as I thought that it might help to make the shapes that I was going for. And I'll just, instead of trying to describe what I did, I'm just gonna let you watch. But can we just talk about the fact that I don't know how much this looks like a Cayman versus a weird Muppet character. I feel like it's a Muppet character. Let me know what you think down below. Once this was all put together, I went ahead and put it in the oven at 350 degrees until I felt like it looked cooked. I really forgot to keep track of the time. Sorry guys. So just kind of go until you feel like it's cooked and then probably give it another 5 minutes. I used olives to do the eyes, and that part I absolutely loved. But let me know what you think of today's dish. And if you notice in my table setup that there's only 2 of those Cayman avocado little dips, that's because one was sacrificed to the family instead of just being waiting for pictures and the Cayman Calzone to be finished. I really hope that you're enjoying these recipes so far. Make sure to stay tuned.
All of those nights when I knew you were mine. I miss when we were.
Okay, so now that we're done kind of with the entree portion here, I wanted to make a couple notes of things that I would have changed if I did this again. Now let's start with the little guacamole bowls. There's nothing I'd change. They were perfect. I'm in love with them. I don't know how that I didn't know about this idea when my daughter was little. I found the idea on Pinterest, as I said earlier. They were fantastic. Calzone though, I really regret not having that spaghetti sauce. It was still great. We ended up getting some and dipping it into it even later with the leftovers, but I feel like it could have been better. Another thing that I would do if you were to make this at home, cut out a quarter of that dough. Just cut it out entirely and go ahead and use it. You take a skewer and you form a little snake. You like twist it around and cook like little breadsticks on a skewer and it becomes like these snakes. It's so cute. Ideas on Pinterest. I'll see if I can link it, because I just felt like my crust was a little thick. I felt like it would have been better if I had really worked that crust to a thinner level before I started my calzone, and I still would have been able to get, I felt like I was trying to make sure I had enough for the shape, but I definitely had enough for the shape. I really wish that I had made those snake breadsticks in addition, but you live, you learn. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to start out by showing you how to make that scrumptious river float, and then we're going to head straight into our dessert ideas with those banana monkey bites and the Anaconda Cake.
Okay, so for these river water floats, you are going to need Sprite, pineapple juice, vanilla ice cream, pineapple sherbet, and blue and green food dye. So I put 1 drop of food dye in each, and then a little bit of pineapple juice. I put too much, do at least half of that. And then 1 scoop of the vanilla ice cream and 1 scoop of the sherbet. I follow that up with a Sprite and an instant exciting dessert that can be really fun for the jungle cruise, because you will see river water is a very important thing. Okay, so for what I'm calling monkey bites, they are peanut butter bananas that are frozen and then dipped in chocolate with Reese's chips like drizzled over top of them. And I did put them on a stick so that they could sit up in my display, but that's not really necessary. I actually really enjoyed the peanut butter and banana just as they were. I don't need the extra sweet personally, and I have to admit that I might have eaten multiple of these before they actually got dipped into the chocolate, but it's okay. We had plenty for the display, and I found a new favorite snack. Now, they also tasted wonderful with the chocolate, but like I said, if you are not into things that are excessively sweet, just leave the chocolate out and do the bananas and the peanut butter. These were so fantastic. You guys are gonna love them. If you are unfamiliar with dealing with chocolate, all you need to do is put your chocolate chips into your bowl, put it into the microwave, and really stir it well every 15 seconds. You do not want to go over 45 seconds unless you are doing a large amount, because you will find that chocolate chips do not always look like they're melted when they are. And if you stir it around, you can often finish that melting process off instead of putting it into the microwave again, which if you do that too many times, it can kind of give them like this weird like gray like texture. Like it just doesn't look right, and it doesn't have that right chocolate snap. I know it's almost powdery looking. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about down below. So let's talk about this anaconda cake that looks absolutely nothing like an anaconda, but we will get to roasting my decorating skills in just a little bit. First, I wanted to let you know whenever I use a box cake, which I am using right now, and I'm doing an Oreo cake, I like to replace the oil that it is called for with butter, and I also like to replace the water with milk. I feel like this gives me an extra moist cake every single time, and it hasn't ever disappointed me. You're going to cook these in these mini bundt pans at 325 until, honestly, they pass the toothpick test. I don't know this specific time because there really wasn't a manual with these cute little bundt pans. They were a gift to me from my mom many years ago. So once they are cooked, we are going to be using a tablespoon to hollow out, like first we're going to cut them in half, and then we're going to use a tablespoon to hollow out the center so that we have a nice C-shaped cake piece for each of these little bundt pans. Well, technically 2 C-shaped cakes. You get the point.
Mental patient, half insane. It's you. Now everything can go to pieces. I don't care. Like the sun kisses the clouds. It's game on. Racing pulse, we get loud. Game on, stay strong. All I wanna do is.
So now that those cakes are all cut, we are going to go ahead and shove them into the freezer while we head back to the mixer, because it is time to make some whipped cream cheese frosting. And to do that, we are going to be adding a teaspoon of vanilla, half a cup of sugar, 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now, you're going to add that heavy whipping cream at the end. You want to cream the other ingredients together first so that it creates a really nice creamed texture. And then once you add the other, you just whip it until it looks like whipped cream. Then we are going to add green, black, and brown frosting colors to each of them in different bowls so that I can pipe on a different decorative pattern on this snake.
It's game on. Racing pulse, we get loud. Game on, stay strong. All I wanna do is sail into you. Help me paint the picture. Like the sun kisses the clouds. Keep us going steady. It's game on. Like the sun kisses the clouds. It's game on. Racing pulse, we get loud. Game on, stay strong. All I wanna do is sail into you. Help me paint the picture. Like the sun kisses the clouds. It's game on.
So here's really where I went wrong. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I didn't go in with a plan. I just started adding dots everywhere. I thought that that would kind of work out and look more original, and no, I needed a plan because this looks like the weirdest ghetto snake that I have ever seen. The face looks like just hilarious, but it's a snake, it works, and it tasted fantastic, and that's the most important part, right? And so let me know what you think of my weird cartoon snake that I ended up with here. Also, you're gonna notice that I threw my hair up, and that is because obviously no one wants frosting in their hair or hair in their frosting.
Out loud. talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love a little louder, love a little louder. We went to a small bar with neon lights, talked about everything that was on our mind. Talking to you gave me butterflies. Then you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love a little louder.
All right, my dear friends, that is a wrap. I hope that you really enjoyed tonight's movie night ideas. Let me know what you think down below of today's content, and also, I just hope you have an absolutely magical day, and I cannot wait to see you next time.